Beryl about 3.5 days out from moving into our neck of the woods. It's a Category 3 hurricane. Do want to mention the system behind it, Invest 96L, not expected to develop, but this looks like a moisture mover behind Beryl by about 2 days. That also forecast to head in our direction, and that's why when you see our rain forecast, it's going to say additional rain headed our way after the rains that Beryl delivers to the area. Right now, 115 mile per hour, major Category 3 hurricane, gusts up to 140, moving west around 15 miles per hour. It will track over the Yucatan tonight, and it will weaken down to a tropical storm with that land interaction. But the big change in tonight's forecast is a little bit earlier on the Category 1 strength, up to 80 miles per hour Sunday evening, as it's setting to move in the North Mexico or South Texas Gulf Coast early on Monday morning, and it will probably be a hurricane at that point. Given this forecast, still uncertainty, the cone's really wide, so there is wiggle room here, but all of the guidance is keying in really on that Texas-Mexico border, down to a tropical storm, mid-grade though, 50 mile per hour tropical storm. That could be in the KIII viewing area on Sunday in the evening hours, and then weakening to a depression up near San Antonio come Tuesday evening. So that uptick in intensity, the Hurricane Center is saying that there is a possible intensification, maybe even beyond this, as this approaches land. We're going to keep close watch on that trend, and trends are really the key to the forecast. If you can identify kind of the little hints that data is sharing with us when we're analyzing it, it kind of puts us in a better position to be able to figure out what's ahead of us. One of the trends we're also watching is what happens after the landfall. So this would be Monday morning, say. You see how all of the guidance is pretty tightly grouped right around that Texas-Mexico border. Some of the modeling is want to turn this north, keeping it close to the coastline. And if we saw something like this, turn more to the north, staying close to the Gulf, it could mean that the storm not only tracks right over the coastal bend, but it also is close enough to the Gulf to have an influence of that warm Gulf water that's currently out there. So that's going to be something to watch for. The other scenario is that it's farther west, maybe close to, if not paralleling, the Rio Grande. If it's farther west, you know, we're going to see a lot less of an impact if this thing comes in right around the Texas-Mexico border and then gets west of the Rio Grande, which is inside the forecast cone at this point. So that's still an option, but the trend we're looking at is if it's taking that track closer to the coast, bigger impacts. If it's farther away from the coast, and especially west of the Rio Grande, we're going to see a lot lower of an impact. So as we start talking about the forecasts like wind, rain, surge, all of these things, just remember that the minor shifts in the track can mean a very big change in the impact a specific location receives. We're talking about changes of maybe 50 miles. This is the current cone, or the center line of the cone, and if this were 50 miles more to the east, we would see higher numbers than what I've got on the map here. If it's farther west, these numbers are going to be lower. So right now I've got us at 30 to 50 with gusts to 60 in the Corpus Christi area. The higher wind speeds could have some hurricane force conditions in the valley. That's where those are going to be. Then as you get farther north and away from the coast, that's where you start to see lower wind speeds. But that's the latest with respect to that track. It will shift in accordance with that center line as we see how that progresses in the coming days. Monday looks like the most active day with respect to rain. We may start seeing some of those outer bands come in later in the day Sunday, but Monday and into Tuesday look fairly active. I've got us at 3 to 6 inches right now. More in the valley, less toward the watershed currently. This will shift around again depending on how that center line moves around. That's going to be the key to the forecast. And I'll say this, the Hurricane Center's been phenomenal with their forecast on the center line. Their 72-hour or 3-day forecast is only off by about 50 miles in either direction at that 3-day or 72-hour mark. So they're nailing the forecast right now, and that's why I'm basing a lot of those impacts off that center line, and we'll adjust with it as those adjustments come our way. Waves, the period on them going to get longer on Saturday. That's going to raise the rip current risk, even though they're not going to be that big Saturday. But the larger swells come in Sunday, Monday, so elevated rip current risk, coastal flooding, that's going to be likely. We're probably going to get surge of some kind. The surge products aren't out yet from the Hurricane Center, but I'd suspect that it would be bigger than the 3 to 3.5 foot surge that Alberto brought a few weeks ago. Saturday, wave periods pick up, elevated rip current risk starts. Weather's decent Saturday. Sunday, Beryl approaches, downpours from outer bands possible. The winds start to pick up a little bit, gusting up to around 30 miles per hour. Monday, this is the landfall day. This is also when Beryl's likely going to give its closest brush to the coastal bend. The strongest winds, heaviest rains, biggest surf in the totality of the forecast for us. That will happen Monday. Then Tuesday, Beryl moves on. We keep some chances for rain in play. But Saturday, Sunday, Monday, those are the weather impact alert days for wind, rain, and surf in the coastal bend. Keeping up with the latest is the most important thing to do at this point. Because remember that phrase, a small shift in track could mean a large change in the type of impact from this storm. So we're talking 50 to 100 miles. That's not a long, distance in the world of weather forecasting. And it does look like more rain behind Beryl with that second tropical wave moving our way. We asked for those questions from viewers. We have some of those. We're going to be answering those here after the break, I guess.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
We'll be watching for that. All right,
Okay,
thank you, Alan.